Then I will have to kill you.
Magusag proclaimed this when I very first met him. One day, a sorcerer would become a monster and slaughter many lives. Magusar saw the sorcerer in a vision, and he searched near and far for this threat to life. And who did he find? Me. At first, I refused to believe it. But few of Magusar's predictions are far off. The bloodlust in my right arm is so strong, it might overcome me. A monster appears before me. It looks quite luscious. Like a heavenly feast that has been delivered to my doorstep. The very thought of my own insatiability makes me sick. Could this be how Sortiara felt all that time?
We have known each other a long time now. You are unstoppable. Stay focused.
Such an ugly death. Such an ugly death.
Let us finish.
The very thought of my own insatiability makes me sick. Could this be how Sortiara felt all that time?
Your body is quite a burden.
I am not the only one in trouble. He ages so bloody fast he can hardly stay mobile. I only want to be normal again. That was a wish that we both shared. Magusar would often tell me,
One can change the future.
I must dispel Sortiara's curse while there is still time. If I fail, then before I transform into that terrible beast, I am promised a swift death at the hands of Magusar. 8 days until the end of the world. The Sacred Chalice. The legendary chalice is said to grant a wish, anything one desires. I could use the chalice to cleanse my accursed flesh. Little is known about the magical chalice, only that it appears before those with insatiable greed. We have devised our own theory. For each monster we kill, we draw closer to the chalice. This is what kept us going. But our victims had to be arch-fiends. Monsters that were once human. Perfect for us, considering our boundless thirst for blood. This monster belonged to a variety of humanoid slime.
My premonitions. I have them that I may change the future. Sacrifice them or save them. Keep this up. Our foe is struggling.
I tell you to obey me.
I don't want to die. Not yet.
I
don't want to die. Not yet.
I feel the power of sin.
This monster belonged to a variety of humanoid slime. Those who transformed into monsters were devoured irreversibly by their own greed. And what did they seek in their avarice? The sacred chalice, of course. Then we made the connection. The memories of monsters may contain clues that could lead us to the chalice. We can absorb their memories by giving their lives in sacrifice.
No good. Nothing new.
Most of the memories claimed from our victims are vague and opaque. The sacred chalice appears far out of reach after all. Magusar and I had traveled together for years by now. Magusar sighed, but from out of nowhere, we heard a cackle from afar. 7 days until the end of the world. This was not the first time I had met this sorceress. Her name is Illecebra. Illecebra claims that she is despondent over Magusar's rejection of her. Perhaps That explains why she detests me. Because I stand at Magusar's side instead of her. She had besieged us several times before. The slime that we now faced was also her work.
I am so lonely. Come, let us die together.
I had heard that line before. Illecebra refuses to die alone. She claims to have been Magusar's former partner, but I am not ready to believe that. Like the way she affectionately refers to Magusar.
It's her again.
I want to die alongside you. So, why did you abandon me? I thought we could trust each other. What about the love we shared? Was I not the perfect partner? How could she take my place? I'd sooner die than live without you. Then let us die together.
Like the way she affectionately refers to Magusar.
You will want to meet me again, I know. You'll come and seek me.
Saying this, Illecebra left us be. She gives me a strange feeling. Magusar tells me that they have no past whatsoever as partners.
Just who is she?
A perfect stranger. That is what Magusar says. But eerily, the expressions of love and hate that Illecebra directs at Magusar feel deeply sincere. Is it only me who feels unease when I see this mysterious sorceress? 7 days until the end of the world. I suppose it was no surprise we fell for Illecebra's trap. We now find ourselves in the position of searching for her. You see, she's taken a hostage. It was an intricate ploy. The slime was the bait that lured us in. I never enjoyed dealing with Illecebra. One look at her face and I feel nauseated, and my arm smarts. Just tracking down her hideout weighed heavily upon me. We lifted the key memory from the slime that Illecebra set upon us.
I'm worried about the hostage. We must hurry. I would expect nothing less from her. I would expect nothing less from her. Will you sacrifice them or save them?
Lifted the key memory from the slime that Illecebra set upon us. Illecebra had taken a man's wife hostage. The man loved his wife deeply and was determined to rescue her. These powerful urges transformed the man into a monster, giving birth to that slime. She sold a story to the man and turned him into that humanoid slime. She said his wife would be safe if he killed the sorcerers. We faced him, and he became our sacrifice. Our right arms inherited the man's profound love for his wife. He wished to have her back. Illecebra was beginning to bother me. Her face concerned me. The striking resemblance. I never thought that I would have to see that face again. I wanted to forget, but she will not let me. Illecebra could be her twin. Illecebra perfectly resembled Sortiara, who should be long dead. 7 days until the end of the world. The man that Illecebra used as her pawn must have loved his wife deeply. From within our right arms, the man's soul let out a tragic cry. For she too has turned into a terrible beast.
Your husband was killed by a duo of very wicked sorcerers.
Hearing that drove her mad on the spot, and she became a monster.
These are the two who are responsible for your loss. Go ahead. Avenge him.
The soul of the husband who was transformed into a monster dwelled in our right arms. His soul spoke to me through my arm. Save my dear wife. I was torn between choices. A slaughter between lovers. It was a deplorable setup.
Don't forget, our goal, our mission, as sorcerers.
The voice of reason, Magusa.
The only way forward is to kill.
Before I realized it, Illecebra had walked off. The monster was near death. Magusar made his usual sacrifice of the beast. Circumstances be damned.
You must remain focused, even if your heart is split open.
You sacrifice them for safety.
Our foe is struggling. This was the only means of ensuring they were reunited.
The monster's carcass turned to mush, and we absorbed it. Straight into our right arms, where the soul of her husband already resided. Where they will meet again. If only as kindred souls. Was this deed a selfish act? Perhaps. But there is little the survivors of the dead can do to atone. Our actions weigh heavily upon us. I have felt an onus ever since the moment I sacrificed Zodiara. If that too was an act of selfishness. I wonder why I can never seem to leave it behind. What can be done so that these lost souls may rest in peace? It is we, the living, who are left to brood on such matters. I feel certain that Illecebra will cause us further difficulty. Magusar was disgusted by her designs to take us with her in death.
We cannot afford to indulge that old crone.
Old crone? Did you say old crone?
Yes, for is she not just that?
Was it only me? Did Illecebra only resemble Sortiara through my eyes? Why did she take the face of Sortiara? Perhaps I am already insane, and am just the last to know. 6 days, until the end of the world. I had heard of Magusar's prescient abilities before I met him. He was well known among sorcerers.
I have found you.
Magusar appeared suddenly before me with a most unsettling proclamation.
One day, you will become a beast and trigger the apocalypse.
He claimed to have come to prevent this grim fate. Now, if that were true, saving the world would not be very difficult.
I wanted to kill you at first. But I had a change of heart. My belief was that no one could ever fully comprehend me. But it occurred to me that with a plight so dire, maybe you could understand me. That at least was my hope.
Magusar invited me to join him. Since we were both aberrations.
Become a beast, and I shall kill you. Your life will be passed on to me. That is my duty as your partner.
He would be my partner, despite the blood on my hands. Magusar could read my thoughts. The guilt from murdering my partner was threatening to overcome me.
No spell can be cast that will cure solitude. And so,
This has been on my mind since the day that I sacrificed Sortiara. Perhaps somewhere deep down, I wished to be forgiven. I held out my hand, and Magusar offered his. We shook hands, and an old sensation returned. A feeling forgotten since parting with Sortiara. And how closely bound are the souls of partners. I strongly felt that this was a man I could trust.